Hello there. So in today's video, in this vlog, we will be experiencing the power outage with me. There's not a ton of footage on that, but there was a little bit and the cat was all looking at me weird, so I thought I would include that. We had a big storm where we lost power for 2 days and that kind of sucked. We were in the dark. I was reading by lantern light. And the fact that I go camping so much, we have all these camping supplies, really came in handy when we lost power. Also in this vlog, I will be making sweet and spicy bread and butter pickles, and then we're gonna go camping, and then we're gonna do a trail at the camping place as well. It was over 2 miles, and we saw some wildlife and just some really beautiful scenery that was around the campground. The place we went had 1,100 acres and it was pretty huge, so it was a pretty cool place. So we'll be exploring that. Then I will also be talking about the book that I brought along with me, which was a cozy murder mystery. And that was The Murder at the Pumpkin Pageant, and that was by Darcy Hannah. So at the end of this, we'll do a kind of wrap up about that book and tell you about that book as well. So come along now, let's go have an adventure. Or something like that. So I don't know if you can tell, but we don't have any power right now. The power went out. It started storming like crazy, and now I am sitting in the dark. Well, there's a lantern. It's really bright. It's a pretty good lantern, so I've just been chilling and reading. We are reading The Murder at the Pumpkin Pageant. That's what we're doing right now. Reading with no power. Today, I thought that I would have you guys come along with me while I make some pickles from the cucumbers that are in the garden. And I'm going to be doing some bread and butter pickles. So far this year, we've made a bunch of them, and I'll show you all the stuff that we've pickled. We've pickled red onions, jalapenos, and we have some dill pickles currently. That's why I wanted to make some sweet and spicy bread and butter pickles. Okay, let's go grab some cucumbers. I think there should only be one or two on here that I'm going to grab. Oh yeah, these guys right here. We got that weird shaped, can you see it? It's bulbous. A little bulbous on the end, but these two will be good for pickles. Here's a few things that I've harvested recently. Got a bunch of cherry tomatoes, some jalapenos, some shishitos, and the cucumbers we're gonna turn into pickles. Okay, so we're in the kitchen. So we got all our ingredients gathered up right now, and they're over here. So right here is pretty much everything we're gonna need. We got our sterilized jar. I'm just doing refrigerator pickles, so nothing we got our little funnel to put all the brine in there when we're done, and these are our ingredients here. Pretty simple for bread and butter. Just we got white vinegar, then we have your sugar, some coriander, salt, mustard seed, turmeric, and 2 cloves. And then over here we have the pickles, and then a jalapeno for some spiciness, and then a white onion as well. And as you can see here, I got this, this is what I'm gonna cut the pickles with. It's like this, it makes them kind of crinkly, so it's a little more fun, right? I'm gonna put the FU in fun, or something like that, I don't know. We're gonna make pickles, let's go. Okay, so we're gonna cut up our cucumbers, our jalapeno, and our onion. Cucumbers, we're using this fun little knife right here. Okay, so now we are going to make our brine, and I will tell you exactly how much of each thing I'm putting in here in case you want to make your own, and maybe I'll put this down in the description of the video as well. All right, so basically we just have to put all the stuff in the pot and bring it to a boil. So we're gonna turn that on, and I'm gonna put that on, we'll start at 7. So you're gonna do 2 cups of white vinegar. And I mean, in bread and butter pickles, you could also use apple cider vinegar if you wanted to. You don't have to, but I don't know. I like white vinegar. It is very neutral and makes a nice flavor with all this stuff. So I usually just go with white vinegar. And then you're gonna do 2/3 cup of sugar, because bread and butter pickles are sweet. And then we're gonna add all of the salt and spices. So you got your coriander, which is 1.5 teaspoons. And then you got your tumeric, which is 3/4 teaspoons. I must tell you, I love these little bowls. I use them for everything. I got like 20 of them. It just makes like portioning out everything so much easier, and then you just dump everything in. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so then we have coriander seed. You have 1.5 teaspoons. And you're gonna have your salt, which is 2 teaspoons. Some of these guys do not want to come out of their bowls. Oh, you know what? I should have did that for the turmeric too. Here, let's get the rest of that in there. Gotta maximize the flavor. And then 2 cloves. And then we're just gonna bring this to a boil. And once it's at a rolling boil, we're gonna let that boil for like 5 minutes. Then we will pour it into our jar with our cucumbers and onions and jalapeno. Gonna let that cool to room temperature. And once it does, you can throw it in the fridge. And usually I check it in about like 3 days to see if it's doing good. And then those are usually good for about 3 months in your fridge and whatnot. There you have it. Pickles. So over here is all the stuff we've pickled so far from the garden. We have some jalapeno, we have some red onion in the middle, we got some dill pickles, we got some more red onion and some more jalapenos. We've had a lot of jalapenos this year. So this is what we've pickled so far. Okay, it is time to finally try the spicy bread and butter pickles. Ooh. It's nicely crunchy. It's sweet. It's tart. It's really like the vinegar is really nice. It's perfect. It's not really that spicy, but I think as it sits, the longer it sits, it'll get spicier. So yeah, turned out pretty good. There we are, swinging. So we are out here at Addison Oaks, about to hit the Buell Lake Trail, see what we see out here, and take you along with us today. So maybe we'll see some cool stuff, maybe not. So yeah, let's hit the trail and enjoy some of the great outdoors. dude, they have a little free library here. What? This makes this place even better now, guys. Let's see what they got in here. All right. The Secret of the Andes. Packing from Mars. Looks like an old library book. Mary Higgins Clark. My grandma used to read her stuff. Tangerine. Nora Roberts. Well, you know, she's written 1,000 books. Music theory textbook. The Last Supper on the Moon. I just think it's cool that they have a little free library here. Heck yes. All right, so let's talk about the cozy murder mystery that I read in this video. So it was Murder at the Pumpkin Pageant by Darcy Hannah, and it takes place in Michigan. And there is this woman who owns a bakery, and she also lives in a lighthouse, which is haunted. She's been having some issues with, like, it seems like some teenagers keep pranking her and, like, putting weird, like, spooky Halloween decorations and, like, hanging up, like, Freddy Krueger in her tree and all this dumb stuff. And she just wants to have, like, you know, nothing gruesome for decorations and this, that, and the other. But, you know, these teens, they think it's funny and whatnot. And she also has this friend that's staying with her that is a influencer, and this friend kind of goes behind her back without her knowledge and invites this team of paranormal investigators to come and investigate this lighthouse that is haunted around Halloween. She finds out about this and is not happy at all and is like, what the F? But she relents and she decides, okay, she's gonna let these people investigate and whatnot. But she's kind of protective of her ghosts in the lighthouse at the same time. I did have one major issue with this book, but I really enjoyed it overall. And my issue is this. So the paranormal investigators that are coming work for like a major TV show, right? And they're coming, they did not have permission from the owner. So that would never happen. They would need direct permission. There would probably be contracts signed, especially like there would be insurance in case they damage the place. They would need to sign a bunch of paperwork and stuff. You can't just come without the direct word from the owner. So that kind of bothered me, as you can tell, because I'm like, what the F? But we ignore that. The rest of the story, it's fun, it's delightful, it's a great like murder mystery for the season. So what happens? They do the investigation, nothing's happening, and then the crap hits the fan. Weird ghost lights go off, and then the dudes freak out. The social media influencer, she freaks out. The guys run out the front, she runs out the back, and then she runs out the back, and then she runs into this dead body that's hanging from a tree. And then stuff gets crazy, and then they gotta solve the mystery, and it's cozy. Obviously, there's a bakery involved, so there's lots of pumpkin themed things in this. And two, in the back of the book, there's recipes for how to make a lot of the stuff that was mentioned. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like overall, I did like this. I took issue with the fact that you're not allowed to just go investigate stuff without permission from the owner. You can't do it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So thank you so much for joining me. If you do like when I do vlogs, I do have one other one currently because I'm still like dipping my toe in this and figuring out what the heck I'm doing. And that was where I visited the UP in Michigan, went and saw a giant troll, hung out on a farm, did a bunch of stuff. So if you like this one and want to check that one out, that'll be the next video coming up. So stick around, and if so inclined, check it out. And if you enjoyed hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.